Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dorcas, and if it's your first time coming on here, hi, hello. My channel is mostly about modest fashion and even my lifestyle as an international student studying in the United States. And so without wasting my time, we'll dive into today's video. Today is gonna be different. It's a story time because we realized that coming here, our friends back home have been asking us, oh, how did you get here? And a lot of people think it was easy or we had it on a silver platter, but no, we were rejected in the past. I've been rejected 2 times. I got in on the 3rd time, so we are going to give a background story. But before that, I have here.
Hi, my name is Kate.
So you have to talk loud.
Hi, my name is Kate. Alright, so my name is Kate Kosenifo, and
your whole government name, Kate Kosenifo.
Okay, right. And yeah, Dorcas is my friend, and as she said, we're about to talk about our rejection stories.
Yeah. So in 2020, I'll just give a brief background. 2020 December, I took the GRE. I didn't get the perfect scores, but I still applied for schools in the US. And fortunately for me, during the time that I applied, they waived the GRE. I was like, bet, I'm finna go. I don't care about the grades. I don't care about my score. I just know that the GRE has been waived for me. So I applied, yada yada yada. It was not easy. And then I got admission, and then I got a graduate assistantship position. The school I applied to was University of Scranton in Pennsylvania. So when I got that was the first task. The second one, it was a struggle. I don't know if people can relate, those who are in the US now, international students from Ghana. 2021 was so difficult getting a date in Ghana, back and forth. I think I took 2 months to get a date, and even that one, my sister got that on my behalf. So now my first interview date was 2nd September. It was on a Thursday. And at the time, Ghana, they only interview students on Thursdays. And when 2nd September was late because my school reopened a week, I think 26th August or something, a week before my interview date. I was prepared. I spoke to a lot of people. I even joined visa interview groups. People were sharing their transcripts, those who have been rejected, yada yada yada. And then 2nd September came. Oh my god, that day it's raining in the morning. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna get this visa. I'm leaving Ghana because at the point I was tired. I was tired of living in Ghana because I was working I was not getting the money that I needed, the soft life that I needed. I still don't have soft life, but it's coming. So fast forward. So I got to the consulate and there was a lot of people. There was a huge crowd and it was so tense inside. If a pen falls down, you could literally hear the sound of the pen, even a pin. And so it got to my turn and there was this pregnant woman and a priest in front of me. The woman rejected him. I was like, hey, that's not my story. I went there. The first thing the woman asked me, she was like, take off your nose mask. I took it off. She was like, what's your name? I mentioned my full government's name. She asked me, have I been to the USA before? I was like, oh no, this is gonna be my first time. And she was like, she can see that I have scholarship because I had a graduate assistantship position, and they remitted 75% of my tuition. And she was like, oh, can I have your transcript in your scholarship letter? And then I gave her the scholarship letter. And one thing I forgot to do was to explain it to her, because for the fall semester it was 75%. 75% was the maximum, and for the spring semester it was 50%. So it was, if you don't give an explanation, someone would just assume she was confused. And I didn't say anything. I was just looking at her to ask me the question. And then she was like, I said I have 75%, but why is it written here 50, 75? And I was like, oh, for the fall semester I'm going to work full-time, 20 hours per week, but 75% is the maximum scholarship they were given to students. And I don't know if she didn't understand, and she just put the scholarship letter aside. She was pointing at it and skimmed through my transcript, and she was like, oh, what am I going to, okay, why Scranton?
Your transcripts, your Ghanaian.
Yeah, my undergrad transcripts, my bachelor's degree. And she was like, later she was like, why Scranton? So I was about to tell her that, oh, amongst all the school that I applied to, Scranton was the one that stood out to me because like yada yada yada. And then she didn't buy it. And to be honest, like people were running away from her, but I didn't understand. I thought, oh, because it was new to me. I've never been to like any like interview setting, like in this setting. And so when she was like, no, in fact she didn't allow me to finish giving her a reason why I chose quantum. And this woman looked straight into my face. She was so mean, and she looked into my face. She was like, sorry, you are not eligible, yada yada. I was like, you barely asked me any question, like what like get to know me. You literally asked me for my name if I've been to the US before. You asked me, like, just get to know me, listen to my passion, why I want to study. But this one was like, no, she can't give it to me. And then my heart sank. I remember there was this girl who was at the other consulate. She was talking to the other consulate, the officer, and the girl just looked down my face, like I could see the pain. She didn't know if that was going to be her fate too. So yeah, that was how I got rejected the first time somewhere. Okay, and then I think I'll quickly talk about my second interview so that we don't waste too much time. So my second interview, I got a date, and the date was 9th December, the same year, 2021. I didn't change my school. I was still going with the same school, my scholarship. And then during the time, everybody was talking about the slim bowed guy. You see, there were two bowed guys. The one with the tattoo, the slim guy, and the older guy.
I really don't know if it's the same people that
like during your time.
Yes, because I went in 2022.
Okay, so my time, there was this slim, good-looking visa officer. He was bald, and people were saying good stuff about him. That, oh, this guy gives you the chance to explain yourself better, and then he approves you. Like his approval rate is higher than as compared to the others. So I was like, bet I'm gonna get this guy. I was praying that God give me that guy. Kids, when I tell you, when I was in the queue, I just knew that I was going to get that guy. But I was so nervous, I went to the washroom, and then I got back. When I got back, and there was a lady who was behind me, so it was my turn to go. So because I knew she was behind me, I decided to like go because I was standing in front of him. And then I went to the bowed guy. I was happy. I knew that I'm going to get it the second time. The first question, the bowed guy, I think his questions, like he has the same trend of questions. The first question was, where are you going to? And I was like, oh, I'm going to the University of Scranton in Pennsylvania to pursue my Master's of Science degree in finance. At the time, I was going to do finance. And then I would specialize in assurance and security. I don't really remember what I was going to specialize in. And then I was like, okay. But I felt like our interview was... my answers were too generic because I was giving him answers his head like before, the days before, like weeks before, even the same day. I was just saying what everybody was saying. It was not unique. And then I think the second question, what I said. But I felt like my second interview was way better than the first. And I deserved maybe an approval. But he just looked at me and he was like, he didn't even look at the people, he was just looking at me the whole time. And he was like, no, I'm not qualified. And I was like, wait, that was not fair. Like, to me, I felt it was not fair because looking at one more question. He asked me what has changed in my recent interview. And I told him that, the first time I made a lot of mistakes whilst filling my DS-160, which I did. And this time around, I took my time to correct it. And I told him that now there's more clarity on my scholarship. I was willing to explain it to him. I even had I printed an email for my supervisor, and I wanted to show it to him and tell him, this is what happened. This is the conversation that ensued between me and my supervisor, and I wanted to give them an explanation of what my scholarship looks like, my graduate assistantship looks like. So I was willing to show it to the guy, and I told him that, this is about my scholarship, yada yada yada. And then I was like, I said everything, and he was like, okay. And then he just looked at my face and was like, I still don't qualify for the visa. And I was like, bald guy is approving everybody. Me, bald guy rejected me. So I was so sad.
When you're in the queue, did you see him approving people?
Yes, he was approving people. Like, the bald guy was approving people. But I realized that the other bald guy, the older one, he was the short guy. Yeah, he was the one. He was just bouncing people. And there was this black man who came this black guy who came, he was just bouncing people. I was like, black guy, we have the same here. Let the Igbo people, let the Igbo people do it. Don't you shouldn't be doing that. So I didn't want to go to him, but the bald guy who I thought was going to approve my visa didn't approve my visa. And so when I got out, I just looked at my parents' face and they knew like, oh, it didn't go well. But I'm just grateful for to my parents, because they really encouraged me. And I told myself that, wait, hold on, let me give this whole visa thing a break, school thing a break, get a job, try and like do something. Like I just gave up sort of. And so yeah, that was how my second interview went. I got my approval on the third one, but I would allow Kate to share her experience, because she has been rejected before. So Kate, over to you.
My GRE, I think in 2020.
I think you have to talk louder.
In 2021. Yeah. So shout out to the DeGraft close, who were like massive support and like pushing me and making sure like I do this thing, you know, because like at a point.
Oh yeah, you told me about your friend.
Yeah, I was at a point like I was like, you know, living the Ghanaian system properly and all that. But like when I was like, oh, I'm going to do this, they just kept pushing and making sure that I did it. And they even like offered to pay for it, and like that was an extra incentive because it wasn't my money. So I was like, I cannot feel this thing. Do you understand? Like I have to like learn hard and everything. So I think I got a pretty good score. It was not bad. It was not terrible. Yes. I don't know how terrible. I don't know what you mean by terrible. But my score was like pretty decent. Okay, it was pretty decent. So and then I applied to University of Tulsa. I only applied to University of Tulsa actually.
Oh, okay.
Because I keep saying I wanted to go to Norway. I wanted some freezing place. This small cold, I'm crying.
I regretted. You didn't even know Tulsa was cold like this. Like I didn't know Oklahoma like was a cold.
No, apparently it's not even as cold as it should be.
Bruh.
Yeah, so
I cannot say. Anyway, continue.
So like I wanted a PhD, but then they gave me the masters. Like they sent the letter. I was like, oh no, we're not giving the PhD, but the masters is available if you want it. We're gonna give it to you. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Before I went to check
scholarship, why not?
That time they were not giving me. Do you understand? But before I actually went to check the social, I was like, oh, Jesus. Okay, so I started the process and got everything together, and I wasn't getting the dates just as doctors, and I did the whole emergency dates thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that.
So when I did it, was still be all booked. I was like, but how is it that it's emergency? It turns out I'm not the only one who was looking for it.
Do you know the crazy thing? Like when the embassy releases like dates in split second like this, the dates are gone. I don't know if people sleep like on the website, and it got to a point like if you're on the website for too long, they can even ban you from accessing the website. I don't know, like if you access it too many times, you get this yellow warning.
I think in a day you can only go on a specific number of times,
and that was crazy. Oh gosh.
Anyways, you are the intensity. What are you doing to me? and like I just went on and I saw like 20 dates had opened for the next day.
For the next
day. Do you understand? Like I had been looking for these dates for like ever.
Never seen that before.
And like I was just like then so I was like, whoa.
So you're in a hurry to like pick a date, because if you don't pick a date fast,
it's gone.
So
I just picked the date, and like the point is in my mind I'm like, hey, it's tomorrow.
And you're not even prepared.
I'm not prepared. Crazy. You understand? I'm like, hey, the thing is, my point is, will I get another date if I don't pick this tomorrow date? Exactly. So I just picked it, and then I called my partner. I was like, yo, I got a date. I was like, and the day it was February. I got it in February, actually 3rd February. So I got my admission letter. And I remember when investors also sent the thing, they don't tell you immediately. They tell you to go to your application.
Yeah, I was like, that's what they do.
Hey, that's super. What sort of? And I was just sorry for another day. This is a rejection story.
Sorry for another day.
So we go in, like they do the whole checkup processes. We are in the queue, and I'm telling you, the bounce. Like didn't know my name, and then he asked me the first question. You give him your passport and everything. So he asked me the first question. So why University of Tulsa? No, in fact, why in industrial and organizational psychology in university or so he asked me that combined question. I gave him the answer like, oh, like in Ghana, psychology is not really like a thing. It's like HR and it's like a merge, you know, it's coming there. So I'm getting ready for it, you know. It was a great answer. I remember it was a great answer. And then he asked me the next question, so who is sponsoring? And then I said, oh, as per on my bank statement. You know, just so like, but you know, so and so person is sponsoring. And then I also have, and then I followed up with, I also have a 50%. Yeah, I think I had a 50%. Then I also have a 50% scholarship on two. As I'm talking like this, I also have a 50%. I'm sorry, I cannot like that.
The impudence.
Just 2 questions. Like you were like, you didn't even get to know me. Like why?
I feel like okay, continue.
So I was like, what? Because I didn't, you know, I gave him like all the right, I think I gave him all the right answers in my opinion. And then as he didn't even let my sentence end, he just put his name there on it. Like, yo, girl.
So was it a bald guy? The short bald guy?
Yeah, it was a short bald guy. That he was on the extreme corner. Like it was him, and I think the blonde woman, and then the black.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, I see the arrangement.
That's who I got. Yeah. So I was like, I just took my papers and I turned and I went out, thinking like going through the whole process, like you know, like I was just like going through. It's like, what happened? Did you understand? I mean, basically that's the story.
Yeah. When I went out, there was this Muslim girl who was in. The girl had worn her mook, her long heel, looking good, scarfed her hair.
I know the story.
Like because I was there.
It happened in my other story, but that one I got accepted, and that's.
And
got to everything.
Do you know I feel like I liked the girl's confidence because she knew why she was there. She knew why she wanted to travel, and then she had casually rested her arms, like her hand, like her elbows on the you see there was this slab, and she was talking to the man, looking at it. I was like, okay. And then they rejected the girl, so I didn't know they had rejected it because I think when she was rejected, I think it was my time or I'd gone to the washroom. I don't really remember. So I went outside and the girl took her anger out on the security guy. And like you see, like when you go out, those security guys, they ask you, do you get there?
Yes.
I think they asked her that question and that took the anger out. Listen,
but they're annoying. Sometimes when a person comes out, they should be able to see from the person's face that this thing didn't go.
Exactly.
Me, the security, he saw it because when he saw me, now he just knew that. Because I think I was still in the days.
Yeah.
I was still like I wasn't out from that
shock. Like what
went what went wrong? And I think he could see it from my face. So he was like, "You can try again." I'm like, dude, too soon.
She took her anger out on the guys and she was ranting and ranting. She was like, she doesn't understand because it was not fair. You see, when I saw what she was doing, I burst out laughing because I was like,
ma'am,
like leave the premise.
Go home.
Before you be rejected, go somewhere and talk about. And so like that was it. It was my third round of like interview. I just analyzed my previous interviews. I just knew that maybe I was not very eloquent or I was not giving them what they wanted to hear. And one thing that I learned, like from my experience and from speaking to like other people, my sister was really helping me out. Shout out to you, Anna. I'm like G. So what I learned is that you have to be yourself when you're talking to the counselor. Like, I mean, they don't know the stress that you went through to look for schools. You're not looking for schools is another wahala. We can even decide to talk about that later. Looking for schools, to know the school that best fits your profile. Getting scholarships, the interviews you'd have to get scholarships. So I just realized that I have to be myself and be my best self. Just let them know why I want to travel.
Be aimless in travel.
So I went hard on my answers. Like I tailored my answers to my personal experience, why I decided to choose this course. I changed my course the third time, and then I changed my school, and then I got a different scholarship, which was way higher than what I had in the past. So I tailored my answers. I'm choosing this course because so and so, how I want to merge tech and business, how it's in line with my calling, what I want to be in future. And yes, those were like legit answers. Like looking at myself, if I want to see myself in my maybe 5 years time, I want to have acquired this knowledge and skills, and then I would want to start doing this. Like, do you get the whole thing? I was very passionate about my answers. And so my third interview hold on, sorry, I have cold. Like, I can't even breathe. Sorry. Hey. The consular shouted at him one time. So I was like, hey, they're going to like, that was the first like reaction I got when I entered. I was like, this place is going to be tense. And they shouted at him and they told him that he should go and stand somewhere else. So I was in my mind, I was like, I should be focused. I shouldn't look at anybody's experience. This is my third time. I have to go harder than the previous two. I became like calm because he made it very easy for me to flow. And then he asked me a question. Like the first question was like, oh, why business analytics? No, I think the first question was like, why are you going to the US? And I gave him my reason. And then he was like, okay. And then he asked me, where do my parents live? I was like, oh, my parents, they live in Ghana. I have siblings. He asked me the number of siblings. I told him I have 3 siblings. I took one of my siblings out. I didn't even know. I just came to mind. I was like, I have 3 siblings. And he asked me that, who is sponsoring my...
Which one of the siblings do this?
And when I told him I had 3 siblings, I also had to tell him that, oh, one is in uni, the second one is in junior high school. And he was like, okay. He asked me that, what is my sponsor doing? And I was like, I told him what my sponsor does. I elaborated on it. This time around, I didn't only talk about like his main business. I also spoke about his side businesses too, and his plans for his businesses. I gave him like a detailed explanation. And he was like, oh, that's good. And he asked me, does my sponsor also live in Ghana? I was like, yeah, my sponsor lives in Ghana as well. And then he looked on and I could see it. You see, like, I could see it because the screen was at the side. And then he looked at my previous interview, what like the consular had written. And then I could see what I couldn't read exactly, but I could see that that's what he was looking at. He was like, oh, you chose University of Scranton and Finance. Why Tulsa? Why business analytics? And then I had to tell him. He said, why the change? I was like, oh, this is not like a complete change. It's all within the business setting. And I told him about my passion of merging technology to business, because business analytics is very I gave him all the fancy words I wanted to give him. And then like it sounded good to him. He was like, oh, that's like really good. And he was like, oh, I hope you enjoy your stay in Oklahoma and I'll be approving your visa.
Wow.
When he said that, I didn't hear Jack. Hey, like you see, like when you read people's transcript and they say that,
I don't know what's happening.
All the rest was baller for me. I said, you give me the visa. I was in the hurry to go out. And I remember that day was so cold. It was so cold. I was in a hurry to go out. He gave me a sheet of paper, like small paper. And he was like, oh, you would have to go to DHL for them. In fact, before he approved it, he just picked my passport and put it behind him. There was this wooden box there, and put my passport behind him. And I knew that so I just wanted him to say it. When he said it,
wow,
I said, hey, God, thank you, my bro. And then he was like, I should go. It will be ready in a week. I was like, hey, I don't care. I just like to be surprised you've given it to me. I'm Gucci, like. And then he was so happy. He was like, oh, have a nice. I feel like he was so good to me. I felt like that was God, like God speaking to me. God gave me the visa.
The other 2 times was God also.
The other 2 times was God also, but it was not the right time. Like it was not the right time
God.
Because I spoke to like a couple of people who were going to my previous school, and they were like, and they don't really like the school. Like some of them had to transfer, and I was like, I don't want to travel to the United States and just go to any school, and I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't network like how I would want to. So you see, God has beautiful ways of like turning things around. And then when he gave me the paper, I went out. I remember my shoe removed. I hadn't my shoe removed from my leg removed from my shoe. I didn't care. I just picked the grabbed the shoe, walked outside. And the people, the security guys over there, they just knew that I had gotten the visa. I just took my bag away. I went, and so yes, that was how I got my interview. And
my rejection in July. I wanted a
even
date.
in Cote d'Ivoire,
Like I didn't want to go through that hassle of
Yeah.
getting a date, so I got somebody to help me get a date, and he was pretty helpful because my idea was just him getting the dates for me, but he was like, yo, like, if you're paying me to get a date, then let me just like help you with like your interview processes. So he was like, oh, he will fill my DS-160 thing for me. So he was the one who actually pointed out likely reasons why I got like rejected in Ghana.
It is good. It's always good to let people know.
Sometimes
your
it's
transcripts as well.
it's good. So when I spoke to him, he was like, so how did my interview go? I just gave him, he was like, oh, but your answers were good. I was like, yeah, exactly, but I don't know what happened. And he was like, okay, like that's fine. So when it was time for him to fill my DS-160 for me for Cote d'Ivoire, and then he saw like my previous DS-160 in Ghana, and he was like, so you made these mistakes, and I think that's it. So I think first of all, there was a part in the DS-160 questions that they ask you who is funding this trip. My layman term, the trip means like the flights, you know, like those things. Like that's coming from my pocket. So I was like, me. And then they also asked, do you know anybody in the USA somewhere? And then I was like, of course, I said nobody. I don't know anybody in the USA.
Who do you know? Who do you know?
I know somebody, but I mean, really, really, like, come on, I don't know anybody. Yeah. And then they asked me, who is your point of contact? There's another part that they ask you, who is your point of contact? I didn't know. Well, yeah, okay, that was one too. So I suppose he says he thinks that was it.
Yeah.
So if I should go for my next interview and they ask me like, yo, why do you think like you got rejected, or what's the difference? Like the way they ask like what's different from your previous and your now. I should just let them know that it was like me making mistakes filling the DS-116, maybe these specific areas. I was like, okay, that's fine, that's okay. And then I went for this interview. This time it was 27th of February, actually, this month. It's like soon, and it'll be like a year ago. So I got there. We went there very early. I think he was like, it's for Cote d'Ivoire, it's not like Ghana where the time they give you is the time you go in, because the people are not so many there. So
I didn't want to go to Cote d'Ivoire. I just didn't want to go there.
That's where you went to. Was also wonderful.
Yeah.
Also, it was a chilling experience. I wish I went there.
Yeah.
Okay. So he was like, go early, because even I think my time was 10:30 or something, but he was like, no, it doesn't matter, go early, because there's almost like a first come first serve ish situation over there. So if the person has not come, they let somebody else go in. When the person comes later, they won't be like, hey, you didn't come at your time, so you can go in later. So I was like, okay, cool. So we got there early. We got there like 6:30 so that if like we can do like 7 a.m. and go. And there were a couple of Ghanaians too from where I was going from where I stayed. So we were just sitting down, like just trying to chill, like, yo, we're doing our prayers, you know, our normal routines, you know, like praying, like doing our confessions, our affirmations. Like, Lord, this time affliction will not arise the second time. That's me being spiritual. All right, so I remember like the way you were like, there was a Muslim woman who was all like, there was this lady who came. She was in like a green suit, you know, like matching suits, like pantsuits. Her hair, you can see it's human hair. You can smell her from, you know, she's looking good. Yeah, her makeup, everything on point. So I'm the lady who was sitting beside, she was like, this one, dear,
she's getting it.
Damn, I was like, yeah, I will give it to her too. Oh my god. She didn't come early. Oh. She came after us, but she had an earlier date. So even though they were doing like a first come first serve thing, they will still come and like mention the times, like 8:30 people, anybody here, like something like that. So if you are not there, whoever is there, they'll let you go. Then they'll move on to the next time because maybe they want 10 people in at a time or something. So 8:30, if only 5 people are there, they'll move on to maybe 9 o'clock people, and then so later they'll come back 8:30 people. Like that's what
that kind of thing. Yeah, I get it.
So she came and she went in. Oh, sister came back. Oh, then that place, if they bounce you, they give you pink sheets. You know, Ghana pink sheets is for
all the matching green suit blazer, green. Makeup, human hair, bone straight.
She was holding pink sheets. I'm like,
counselors do better.
What?
Do better.
I really don't know what happened, but yo, the pink sheet was pinking. Like, because like
the pink sheet was pinking.
I was wondering, like, hey, then what could have gone wrong? Do you understand? Because me, I was my
the glide, the beauty.
Wow, even the beauty should have convinced you people. Why are people like this? Very like wide and broad and very diverse. So like if you do that program, if you offer that program, you can go into practically almost any field. And then she was like, okay. And then she asked me, how long have you been in your current job? And I was like, 8 months from today. Because of that guy, I did the calculations. Like how long? So I was like, oh,
guys, be smart too.
8 months, like
smart.
8 months, like they go and everything. I gave her like how many months I've been in it, and she was like, okay, so what were you doing in your previous job? And I told her, I was like, I am a grade 2 teacher. I thought like, I just gave her like I'm a grade 2. Like, what subjects do you teach? Want to ask me, so what is industrial and organizational psychology about?
All of that?
Hey, maybe it was a whole lengthy thing.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, it's like the science of HR, like where HR meets science, like we do the whole. And she was like, oh, all right, that's fine. Then she asked me, so how are you funding this? And I said, well, I have this amount of scholarship, you know, and campus, Ijuma, you know, everything together. And like me, the guy told me that I should let her like feel like money is not a problem. Do you understand? So I was like, and whatever deficits will be covered. I'm like, and whatever I literally did my hand like this. And whatever deficits will be covered by my sponsor. She didn't ask me what my sponsor does or anything. She didn't ask me to become my statement.
Yeah, because you got like full tuition.
And then she asked me, so what kind of job like will you be doing on campus if you are like working? I was like, oh, mostly administrative. You know. She was like, okay, I'll be approved.
That is what we want.
But this is why I had been told that the people who had gone, the Ghanaians surrounding me, who had gone like the week before, and they were waiting for their passports, who had been approved and they were waiting for their passport. They told me that there was a guy who went, I don't know if there was a guy or a girl who went, and then when they approved, you know, like when they approved, literally you are like in some euphoria, like you're like, yay, finally I got it. Do you understand? So the person was turning to go, and then the consultant was like, wait, so you said that you don't work on your DS 160, and here you said you work. Do you understand? So I think because the person was really excited, the person got thrown off because I think they're pretty like, there are very sensible things that could have happened between you filling your DS, because sometimes you fill your DS at 160 like a couple of months away. Because I filled mine like, okay, I didn't fill mine a couple of months away. My agent told me not to do that. Told me to fill it like.
Oh, you use an agent?
The guy.
Oh,
okay. I call him an agent.
Okay.
So he told me that like I should fill it enough time for it to get to the system, but not so long for them to Yes. So I was like, okay, I don't know what this guy did, although I don't know how long ago he filled his DS 160, but apparently he was unemployed on his DS 160, and he came to say he was employed when they asked him what he does.
Why is your
disparity? They don't like that. You understand? Just like I'm saying, the fact that I said I don't know, like the fact that I'm supposed to say service officer and I put something different, the fact that this is my sponsor, they will say you're lying, even if you're like
you're being honest.
Yes. So some mistakes, like you should try and avoid them. Try and make sure that what is on your DS 160 it is correlating to what and know what is on your DS 160. You had sometimes somebody helped you feel it, so
you guys don't lie.
What?
Seriously, don't
if somebody
lie.
helped you feel it, go and look at what is on it, so that you will know what is on your DS-160. Sometimes there was a mistake. There was a lady who said there was a mistake on her DS-160. She cut it like the night before her interview, and she didn't want to risk it and change it, because what if she goes and it's not in the system? Because in Ghana, I said if it's not in the system, they will not let you go. And sometimes when those numbers don't match, so what she did was, when she came in, she was saying that when she got to the consular and she got through the whole formalities of hello, hi, how are you doing, whatever, she just made it clear. She was like, I just want to clarify something. I made a mistake on my DS-160. Like, sometimes it's the confidence. You understand? They want to know that you know what you're about.
Just be your best self, and don't think, you see, like we Africans, okay, I don't know for other African countries, but we Ghanaians, and we have this mindset that we have to impress the VO so much that like it's you are always tense, like you just want to say things for the VO to approve you, and you are not being yourself. I don't think that they are human beings, but I don't think that's what they are looking out for.
I think they want conversation, really.
Like, they just want to have, they don't know anything about you, literally. It's what you put on your DS-160, and that's what is based on that, and that's the question they're going to ask you. So you just have to be yourself, even in as much as you've written that down. Just like be yourself and talk about it, and just relax, be relaxed, and just leave everything to God. It's going to turn out for your good. And one thing I want us to say is that if you've been rejected in the past, don't be so offended and give up, because the VOs, they also know, like, especially when it comes to funding, it's, you have to get scholarship. Or if you are from a rich home, or you are from somebody's going to sponsor your tuition, that's fine. But if nobody's going to sponsor you, and you don't have a scholarship, and you want to come here and work, it will not work. You can't use your stipend to pay tuition, and if they reject you because of funding, it is good, because it's very tough here. People in Ghana will think, oh, because you're in the US, you are living a soft life because of what they see. We show you what we want you to see, right? And so if they reject you, it's a good opportunity for you to look for scholarships that can, because if you don't have scholarship, and then, but if you look at we that we have scholarship, we still have to pay for international fees. It's a headache for me. Like,
nobody likes to spend their money, right?
It's headache for me, because exactly, because they'll tell you that, oh, you have to pay this for international fees, graduate student fee, unnecessary fees. It will just sum up to like $600, $700. If your stipend is even $1,000. What's like, do you get the whole thing? So when you are denied based on funding, that should be a good opportunity for you to research more and get funding, get scholarship, and then come. When you come, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's not too rosy. It's stressful because school will whip you on the ass. But like, it will be better. You have like a safe mind, like sound mind to like study, because you know you are not going to pay for any other additional fees, things like that. So yeah, this is our rejection story. If you liked it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much to my old subscribers. You guys comment. I like the engagement. I think one of my videos, somebody I don't know personally asked me, oh, hey, what school are you going to? I was so happy because, hey, I don't even know this person. Ever since asking me, I was so happy to respond. If you have any other questions, I'll be willing to answer your question. You can just type that in the comments section, and I'll see you guys in I think we should do a part 2. I think our part 2, we are going to talk about our experiences being in the United States. And so I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.